Alright guys, and welcome back to Little Long Game Channel. Today we have Season 7 of our F1 2022 My Team Career Mode Simulation. I just want to say a massive thank you for the support on last episode where we saw Lando Norris picking up the World Drivers' Championship and McLaren absolutely dominating the season. Will they do it again? Let's find out. Big driver merry-go-round this season as Hamilton retired from Mercedes. Guan Yu Zhou left Haas to replace him. Yuri Vips then moved to Haas, previously being in F2. But the retirements didn't end there as Charles Leclerc retired from Ferrari, which allowed Kevin Magnussen to pick up the Ferrari seat. Pierre Gasly moved from Alpine to Williams. Alexander Albon replaced Gasly at Alpine. Mick Schumacher went to Aston Martin. Dan Ticktum went to Alfa Romeo. And Liam Lawson was picked up by Haas. So with all those changes mixing up the grid, we kick it all off in Bahrain where Lando Norris picks up where he left off last season, a victory in Bahrain. Vettel was second, Kevin Magnussen in a podium for his first race for a Ferrari. Verstappen was fourth, Guan Yu Zhou was fifth, Russell sixth, Sainz seventh, Gasly eighth, Schwartzman ninth, and Yuri Vips picked up a point in his first race in Formula One. Next up was Saudi, and this season looks like it's going to be very similar to last season as Lando Norris wins again. Russell came second, Sainz third, Magnussen fourth, Verstappen fifth, Zhou sixth, Liam Lawson getting his seventh with his Haas. Pierre Gasly finished eighth, Vips ninth, and Tsunoda finished in 10th. Next up, we had the Australian Grand Prix where Lando Norris made it 3 for 3. Kevin Magnussen with a career best second place in his Ferrari. George Russell rounded off the podium in third. Verstappen fourth. Zhou fifth. Sainz sixth. Gasly seventh. Stroll eighth. Lawson ninth. And Alexander Albon finished in 10th. Sprint weekend number 1 at Imola, and Lando Norris wins a sprint race. Sebastian Vettel second. Russell third. Sainz fourth. Magnussen fifth. Zhou 6th, Gasly 7th, and Verstappen picked up that final point in 8th. And all that meant in the Grand Prix, Sebastian Vettel picked up victory ahead of George Russell in 2nd, Norris rounded off the podium in 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Gasly 5th, Sainz 6th, Magnussen 7th, Lawson 8th, Zhou 9th, and Vips finished in 10th. Last season, McLaren won every race. They are on track to do the same this season as Lando Norris wins in Miami. Vettel made it a 1-2 for McLaren in 2nd. Russell was 3rd, Zhou 4th, Magnussen 5th, Verstappen 6th, Gasly 7th, Sainz 8th, Lawson 9th, and Tsunoda finished in 10th. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Lando Norris who leads the way, 46 points ahead of George Russell in 2nd, Vettel is 3rd, Magnussen 4th, Verstappen 5th, Sainz 6th, Zhou 7th, Gasly 8th, Lawson 9th, and Lance Stroll rounds off the top 10. And in the Constructors, McLaren lead the way, 70 points ahead of Mercedes in 2nd, Ferrari 3rd, Red Bull 4th, Williams 5th, Haas 6th, AlphaTauri 7th, Alpine 8th, and Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin still yet to score. In Spain, Lando Norris picks up victory ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 2nd, Russell was 3rd, Magnussen 4th, Verstappen 5th, Sainz 6th, Zhou 7th, Vips 8th, Gasly 9th, and Albon picked up that final point for Alpine. The glorious streets of Monaco followed where Lando Norris wins yet again ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel in 2nd. Russell rounded off the podium, Sainz was 4th, Gasly 5th, Magnussen 6th, Zhou 7th, Verstappen 8th, Albon 9th, and Lance Stroll picked up a point in 10th. Another street circuit on the way as we head to Baku, and Lando Norris continues his fine form. He looks like he's on for another World Championship. Vettel was 2nd, Verstappen rounded off the podium in 3rd, Russell 4th, Sainz 5th, Lawson 6th, Zhou 7th, Ocon 8th, Gasly 9th, and Schwartzman finished in 10th. McLaren's win streak ends in Canada as George Russell picks up victory ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 2nd. Magnussen rounded off the podium in 3rd. Zhou was 4th, Verstappen 5th, Sainz 6th, Albon 7th, Tsunoda 8th, Lawson 9th, and Vips finished in 10th. Next up was Britain, where Lando Norris returned to winning ways, winning his home Grand Prix ahead of fellow Brit George Russell in second. Verstappen was third, Magnussen fourth, Zhou fifth, Sainz sixth, Gasly seventh, Lawson eighth, Albon ninth, and Stroll rounded off the points in 10th. And all of that brings us to our second sprint weekend in Austria, where Lando Norris wins the sprint race ahead of Sebastian Vettel in second, Russell was third, Sainz fourth, Verstappen fifth, Zhou sixth, Gasly seventh, and Magnussen got that final point in 8th. And all of that led to Lando Norris winning the Austrian Grand Prix ahead of George Russell in second, Verstappen was third, Magnussen fourth, Zhou fifth, Lawson sixth, Sainz seventh, Vips eighth, Ocon ninth, and Albon finished in 10th. Next up was the French Grand Prix, where Lando Norris picked up victory yet again this season ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel in second, Russell rounded off the podium in third, Magnussen was fourth, Zhou fifth, Gasly sixth, Verstappen seventh, Sainz eighth, Albon ninth, and Ocon finished in 10th. And now is the final race before the mid-season break in Hungary, where Lando Norris wins yet again. George Russell was second, Vettel third, Magnussen fourth, Zhou fifth, Gasly sixth, Verstappen seventh, Albon eighth, Lawson ninth, and Sainz finished all the way down in 10th. So heading into the mid-season break, Lando Norris leads the World Drivers' Championship 94 points ahead of George Russell in second, Vettel is third, Magnussen fourth, Verstappen fifth, Zhou sixth, Sainz seventh, Gasly eighth, Lawson ninth, and Albon rounds off the top 10. And in the Constructors' Championship, McLaren lead the way 157 points ahead of Mercedes in second, Ferrari third, Red Bull fourth, Williams fifth, Haas sixth, Alpine 7th, Alpha Tauri 8th, and Alfa Romeo and Aston Martin are still both yet to score. So after the mid-season break, we head to Belgium, where Lando Norris continues where he left off, winning ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel in second, Russell was third, Verstappen fourth, Magnussen fifth, Zhou sixth, Sainz seventh, Latifi picking up his first points of the season in 8th, Albon 9th, and Vips was 10th. And from Belgium we make the short journey to the Netherlands, where Lando Norris wins again. Vettel was second, Russell third, Verstappen fourth, Sainz fifth, Magnussen sixth, Gasly seventh, Lawson eighth, Schumacher picking up Aston Martin's first points of the season in 9th, and Vips got that final point in 10th. On to Italy we go, where Lando Norris wins yet again. He's absolutely dominating these past 2 seasons. Vettel is second, Magnussen rounds off the podium in third, Verstappen fourth, Gasly fifth, Zhou sixth, Vips 7th, Schumacher back up in the points in 8th, Latifi 9th, and Drugovic made sure both Aston Martins picked up points. Off to Asia we go now, into Singapore, where Lando Norris, you guessed it, wins again. Russell second, Vettel third, Verstappen fourth, Sainz fifth, Magnussen sixth, Zhou seventh, Gasly 8th, Drugovic 9th, and Albon picks up a point for Alpine in 10th. Japan up next, and Lando Norris has won yet another race this season ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel in second, Russell was third, Verstappen fourth, Zhou fifth, Magnussen sixth, Gasly 7th, Vips 8th, Drugovic 9th, and Sainz got the final point in 10th. America up next, and Sebastian Vettel pips his teammate to victory in the USA Grand Prix. Russell rounded off the podium in third, Verstappen was fourth, Zhou fifth, Magnussen sixth, Sainz 7th, Drugovic 8th. Fantastic form he's showing second half of the season. Gasly 9th, and Albon finished in 10th. Mexico up next, and Lando Norris returns to winning ways ahead of teammate Sebastian Vettel. Russell was third, Gasly fourth, fantastic for him in the Williams, Verstappen fifth, Magnussen sixth, Zhou 7th, Vips 8th, Albon 9th, and Drugovic continues his point scoring form in 10th. And with 2 races to go, Lando Norris does indeed have the Drivers' Championship wrapped up, 173 points ahead of George Russell. There is a tight battle going on for second though between Russell and Vettel, just 4 points separate them. Verstappen is 4th, Magnussen 5th, Zhou 6th, Sainz 7th, Gasly 8th, Lawson 9th, and Vips rounds off the top 10. And in the Constructors, McLaren have indeed won that as well. 319 points the lead to Mercedes. Ferrari are 3rd, Red Bull 4th, Williams 5th, Haas 6th, Alpine 7th, Aston Martin 8th, AlphaTauri 9th, and Alfa Romeo are last, and the only team yet to score. And that brings us to the final sprint race of the season in Brazil, where Lando Norris picked up victory in the sprint ahead of his teammate Vettel. Verstappen was 3rd, Sainz 4th, Magnussen 5th, Gasly 6th, Zhou 7th, and Liam Lawson picked up that final point in 8th. And in the Grand Prix, Lando Norris picked up victory ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 2nd, Verstappen rounded off the podium in 3rd, Magnussen was 4th, Sainz 5th, Russell 6th, Zhou 7th, Gasly 8th, Lawson 9th, and Tsunoda finished in 10th. And here we are, the final race of the season in Abu Dhabi. Lando Norris wins yet again ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 2nd. Verstappen is 3rd, Russell 4th, Sainz 5th, Magnussen 6th, Latifi all the way up in 7th, fantastic from him. Lawson 8th, Schumacher picking up more points for Aston Martin in 9th, and Tsunoda rounded off the points in 10th. And there we have it, Season 7 all wrapped up, the Drivers' Championship. Lando Norris wins again, Vettel 2nd, McLaren absolutely dominant yet again, Russell 3rd, Verstappen 4th, Magnussen 5th, Zhou 6th, Sainz 7th, Gasly 8th, Lawson 9th, and Vips finished in 10th. And in the Constructors, McLaren scored 904 points, 394 points more than Mercedes in 2nd, Ferrari were 3rd, Red Bull 4th, Williams 5th, Haas 6th, Alpine 7th, Aston Martin 8th, AlphaTauri were 9th, and Alfa Romeo, the only team not to score, in 10th. So there we have it, Season 7 wrapped up. Lando Norris and McLaren make it back-to-back championships. Will they win them again in Season 8? Well, we'll have to wait and see. If you are enjoying the series, please do drop the video a like, give the channel a subscribe, because that video will be coming along very soon. But until then, I'll catch you guys later.